When it comes to marketing, want to know what not to do in your e-commerce business? Watch this video to find out how one entrepreneur reached out to me and shared with me something that made the alarm bells in my head start going off. Before we get into it, subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell for notifications. I post new videos each week, and if you're into e-commerce or thinking about starting an online business, you don't want to miss out. Hit the subscribe button now and the e-commerce gods will smile upon you. If you're starting your e-commerce business, you'd love to sell a ton of products, right? But not all sales are equal, especially if you're losing money on each sale. And with all the talk about burn rate and VC-backed companies, it's easy to get caught up and think that top-line revenue is something to be proud about. But if you're just chasing a vanity metric like top-line revenue without any profits to show for, you're making a big mistake. And if you're losing money on every sale, your company is bleeding, and it won't be long before it's on life support. This may sound obvious, but losing money is not a good business strategy. You should be looking for ways to lengthen your lifespan. You need to give yourself the longest runway possible, because the longer you can afford to stay in the game, the better the chance you'll have to catch the breaks necessary to grow a successful company. So let me share with you a conversation I had with Melita. She owns and runs Q for Quinn, an e-commerce clothing brand that includes socks and other basics that are made from organic cotton and merino wool. In this next clip, I share my thoughts with her regarding the dangerous course her business is taking and what I would do to change it. Listen in so you don't make the same mistakes.
One of the biggest things or goals I need to reach is really increasing the efficacy or efficiency of our ad spend. It got a bit out of control, especially early last year when I had my newborn and I was actually running ads myself. I have hired a girl to run it, and she's doing much better than I was. And that's freed up my time to also think a little bit more strategically than being in the day-to-day of Facebook ads. But, when you look at my business, is there anything that, you would recommend in terms of other channels that I should be pushing alongside Facebook and Google?
So a couple things I would say, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I see you're not profitable, correct?
Yes, yeah.
Which to me is a big red flag.
Yeah.
I would not grow top line if you can't hit profitability, because that's only going to amplify the loss. Right. And there's no glory in top line, at least for me, when it comes to physical goods. Now, if you're a SaaS product, if you're in tech, and if you're building communities and you're Facebook or one of these social, yes, then top line, they grow in a different way. But for physical goods, I think it's very important to hit profitability and prove you can in a way that's sustainable and then scalable. Instead of trying to hit the top line growth while your profitability continues to stay negative and just trend downward, to me, I would change that. I would back it up and say, forget about top line. Let's just hit profitability in a small way. And I think a lot of it has to do with your ad spend, because you're at 40%. And just briefly looking, I think if you cut about 10 or 15% off, if you can get 10 or 15% more effective in your ad spend, you kind of break even. And so I would work on that. And the way to do that, or one way to help you get there, is to make sure that you know what an acceptable ROAS is, right? So if you're targeting a 3x ROAS and that can help you get to profitability, you have to put a stop at it when it hits that. Meaning if you're spending into it and then you cross that threshold, you have to put on the brakes. Right? Because if you spend into it anymore, it's eating away at the profits. And there's no reason to do that just to pad your top line. Weekly KPIs, making sure you have a scorecard against whoever's running your ads, so that you're checking in and giving them goals and things to hit. And so that you can monitor it, breaking it down by platform, Facebook, Google, all the different social media, anywhere you're spending. Google Shopping, break Google Shopping out from Google Ads, right? All these different things. You need to know what your target ROAS is, and then your floor, right? If you're targeting a 3x ROAS and maybe you set a floor of 2x, right? If you hit 2x, then you got to stop. You just can't keep spending into it, because otherwise all the work you've done up till then, all the profitability that you've got up till then is now being flushed down the toilet, right? And just hurting it. So you have to cap it. And that might mean that your top line doesn't grow anymore, right?
Yeah.
But you're profitable. And then you have to figure out other ways to continue to grow. And I think here's the honest truth when it comes to ad spend and different paid ads, you have to try everything.
Yeah.
And I mean everything. Like you have to be on Pinterest. You have to try all the Gemini network stuff, like Yahoo, Bing, like all these ones that you never would think like, oh, that's not good. You got to try everything because you don't know what's going to work for you and your customers. I would try everything. So TikTok, Instagram, right? All of these, even Facebook, you have to figure out, now you have to figure out better attribution models to understand if it's working or not. And that's a whole nother conversation. But assuming you understand how, or you figured out how you can track attribution for yourself, then you have to try everything and it has to be able to be measured. So, and that's what, going back to attribution, right? You have to be able to attribute it to the sale. And for me, I would say that the lowest hanging fruit, and I don't know how well you've done on this, maybe you feel like you've maxed it out, but email marketing is by far going to be your highest return. And so if you double down on that and really try to grow that, and it's not like, well, I've done everything, I'm sending lots of emails. So it's not about sending emails. It's about growing your list. It's about doubling, tripling, quadrupling your list so that you can send them emails and communicate with them, not just sales, but value, right? Giving them stuff that they want and creating that relationship like a brick and mortar would have with their customer that walks in their store, right? So I would go back to the basics. If I looked at it now, I would say, okay, figure out what ROAS you need to be profitable and cap it there. And don't spend any more that takes you into the red. And then I would double down on the basics, which is email. And you're going to get way more return on that, especially at your size, at $1 million, like approaching $1 million or not even quite there, $500,000. If I came in, my guess is I would probably say, forget the rest. Unless we're getting a very positive ROAS on it, forget all the rest. I'm going to stop all the rest. I'm just going to focus on email marketing because I could grow a business to like $5 million just with email marketing.
Well, in terms of the leads and stuff, do you still run ads to collect leads? Giveaways?
You can. Again, you have to map an attribution model out that helps you understand where those leads worth it. Right. And that takes a bit of time, but I would say community building and brand building is going to bring in more people and more quality people. Look, this isn't like a quick scheme. This is a long grind, right? And so when you're community building, you're bringing in quality leads, you're bringing in quality people who are attracted to the things that you're putting out to attract them, which isn't a sale. Right? A sale and an email of buy this and get 20% off. That's not going to bring in the right people because you want prospective buyers. Right. And so bringing in people through, I would work on collaborations with other companies. I would work on giveaways with other companies. I would gather up 3 other brands that aren't competitive in your space, but are adjacent and work with them to say, hey, let's do something for our communities. Let's help support our people, help support our customers in a way. Maybe it's running a contest, or maybe it's running a series of informational emails, or maybe it's running a video series that then attracts a lot of people and gets people engaged, brings them in. You share all the communities as they're kind of coming into this, and you can kind of double your effort. So I would work on emails, brand collaborations, giveaways, things that are very easy to get your name out there and attract quality leads. Just be careful spending, the way you're spending now. I would not spend if it's not profitable.
When it comes to your ad spend, you need to set limits. It's easy to feel like you should stay at the table and keep doubling down, especially if you're losing money. But even though paid ads can feel like gambling, it's not. The house doesn't always win unless you don't know when to quit. You need to decide on an acceptable level of ROAS for your company and be disciplined enough to stick with it. When the PPC well that you're drinking from dries up, force yourself to get creative elsewhere. Explore other channels of marketing and you'll find that the opportunities are endless. Remember the saying that revenue is vanity and profit is sanity. And if you agree with this statement, then you'll want to watch this video here where I tell you why some of the most profitable opportunities are in some of the smallest niches. Click on this video now and I'll see you there. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.